Hi everyone, I want to give you 3 ways to cope with the rising cost of living. Now, I probably don't have to tell you that prices of things like everything is going up. Although, if you listen to government officials, sometimes they might try and spin it and say, oh, this is the best economy we've had in decades. But if you're trying to buy a house, a car, health insurance, just food even, you probably know that it just ain't what it used to be and that prices are definitely coming up big time. Now, why am I qualified to talk about this? Because you can probably see 2 Emmys back there and a bunch of other awards when I was a TV investigative and consumer reporter in Miami and St. Louis. So what that meant was I was following the Consumer Price Index, which tells us what the cost of living is. I followed it religiously, and I still do. And working in real estate, I know how much it costs to buy a house, and most people these days can't afford it, and even rent is sky high. Then factor in insurance costs, and it's just frightening times, really, that we're living in. But I want to give you 3 practical steps that can help you reduce your own cost of living and help you live a more thriving life. You really don't have to compromise your health or your well-being. The first concept is budget-friendly nutrition. Now, what is that? Think foods in their whole state. You don't have to break the bank to eat things like beans, grains, whole grains, nuts, and seeds. Lentils, oats, seasonal vegetables, those are very affordable. And you can often find seasonal vegetables if you can't at the grocery store, at your local farmer's market or vegetable stand. They might even have vegetables that they're getting ready to toss because they're too old, but they'll be fine for tonight's dinner. So look for bargains like that. A big key to eating budget-friendly is to plan ahead. Meal prep. Make a list of what you want to get at the store, of what a few meals might look like a few days out, so that you are not impulse buying when you go to the store, or you're not grabbing for things in the pantry that maybe aren't on the plan, because if you stick to it, you really will save money. This also avoids wasting. We waste so much food in, especially America, but all over the planet in more affluent countries, and we really don't need to do that. It will save money if you don't do that. One way to work around this is to do batch cooking. So cook 2 or 3 days ahead. Be able to freeze things so that you don't have to let it spoil in the fridge. There's nothing worse than opening the fridge and seeing something green and it's not a vegetable. It's that mold that you forgot about, leaving some kind of unrecognizable piece of food, and it was sadly neglected, and then it gets wasted and you waste money. Another huge thing that is so important, I love to do this, is grow your own. It can be outside if it survives in this heat. Make sure that you're watering it daily, or it will not if you are in an area affected by heat. Or you can bring it inside and just do some container vegetables, especially the herbs like parsley, chives, cilantro. There's so many different herbs. You can get them already started at the store and bring them home and transplant them to a bigger pot so they continue to grow, and that really will save you a lot of money and add a lot of flavor to your food. The second area to focus your budget-friendly eyes on will be exercise, low-cost exercise routines. Again, this doesn't have to be complicated. Keep it simple, as the phrase goes. So walking, running, try a little of both, mixing it up. And it's never too late to start. I can't tell you how many 70-year-olds like myself in that age group I've met who just started running, and actually their bodies are in great shape because they haven't had 45 years like I have of wear and tear on the body. But you can do these kinds of exercises and just get out there in nature. It makes you feel better, and our endorphins, our adrenaline, the hormones associated with good positive exercise will flood your body, and you'll be in a much better mood. But more importantly, these are free. Do you like the word free? It doesn't cost anything. You don't have to have a gym membership. But speaking of which, if you are on Medicare in the US, often Medicare plans, you have to check with yours to find out, will give you free membership into different clubs. I actually belong to 4 of them. I do not work out at all of them, mainly 2 that I focus on, but just to have that variety for free is an amazing benefit. So check with your Medicare plan to see if you qualify. Just make sure when you are working outside that it's in a safe area, and that if you are going to use earbuds, which I like to do, that maybe you want to get the kind where you can hear background noise like traffic. Just make sure that you keep yourself safe if you are running, and if you're in a park, even double check to make sure, keep your eyes open all around you, or run in groups or with partners just to be safe. There's so many exercises you can do at home without any requirement. Using your own body weight for push-ups or planks, one of my favorites, or yoga or stretching, using resistance bands if you want to add a little stretching to the mixture and give yourself a good challenge. All these things can be done at home, and that's free. And if you're saying, but Ellen, I don't know really how to do a workout by myself without an instructor or a personal trainer, well, you can certainly check the various places on my channel. I have some workouts, both warming up, cooling down before you do walking or running, or some good stretching exercises. Or you can search other places, of course, to find out whatever floats your boat and maybe It reminds you of a class that you took that has the same kind of exercises. There's pretty much a YouTube video for everything. The final tip to keep you somewhat sane as the cost of everything goes up and to fight inflation is to keep track of your expenses. I know this is a tough one and boring, but it is so helpful. You can do this just by opening the Notes application on your phone. If you have like an Excel spreadsheet or whatever the Apple equivalent is of that, you can just track all of this on your phone. But it doesn't have to be complicated. Just make sure that you know how much money you've got to be spending on the different areas of your life and make sure you stick to that. Once you understand where the money is flying out the window, then you understand the areas where you need to cut back. Look for bargains, things that are on sale, any kind of deal that you can arrange. Make sure that you mention you're a senior citizen, and for different places that can be 55, it can be 60, it can be 65. So wherever you go, just say, do you have any discounts for senior citizens? Many stores offer discounts on certain days of the week, so look for that. But I got to tell you, in my old age, I'm like kind of rebelling against spending it all because, like, what more do I need other than, you know, a good pair of running shoes or flip-flops? And you know, when things like that wear out, then yes, you have to replace them. But I really just feel, maybe you do too, share your best tips about this, that I don't need any more clothes. And the problem is, when you think about throwing things away, there is no away. And so many things, even like our clothes, it's very hard for them to biodegrade and break down. So just kind of give a once over in your drawers and see if there isn't something that you can't give away. There are so many charities and nonprofits out there that could use what's been sitting around collecting dust on your shelves, in your closets, and it's just this freeing feeling. And if you need some inspiration, watch either on Netflix or YouTube all of the hoarding videos out there. The worst ones are like when the cockroaches like start traveling all over things that don't get used. And that, to me, whatever your inspiration is, find something like that that inspires you to just start downsizing and decluttering and be your own hoarding expert, because it's amazing how easy it is. The figure on one show I saw was 20 million people in the US have a hoarding problem. And there are all kinds of reasons for it. We won't get into that, but just understand that it really is freeing to get rid of this stuff and to be able to see horizontal spaces. Another thing you can do with some of your clutter is to go on Facebook Marketplace or other websites and sell it. Or pawn shops are actually a great place to unload things. Not that I have any experience with this, but yes, and they fingerprint you. And you know, when I was a reporter, that pawn shops were often robbed. Well, they're not anymore because everything's on security camera and they've got your fingerprints, and anybody who comes through there is tracked very carefully. So you might be surprised how much you can unload with stuff that's just sitting around. Nobody's wearing it, so you might as well give it to somebody who can. What about you? Have you done any of this stuff? I'd love to hear your experiences in decluttering your life and trying to save money during these challenging times, because I know that if you think it might be interesting, other people will too. And if you found value here, I hope you'll like and subscribe. We're going to have a lot more tips for saving money. I love to share my background and any information that I can with you, and it helps the channel to grow when you like and subscribe. So thank you so much for watching, and hope to see you in the next one. Gotta run.